about the light side stuff and such like that. And one of their things was they didn't know people from Force. So, Fufi or Mako, whichever one chooses to, if you could just basically, what I told them was essentially Force is a little more organizational strict. I mean, not in a bad way, just a little more, you got the officers, you got, your PvP officers, stuff like that. SOD is a little more loose, but essentially we share the same core values, need for greed policies, helping out fellow guild members being priority over, personal gain, such like.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Normally the way we ran it in Force is that whoever's usually, depending on what it is, most likely, usually the highest ranking guild member is in there, and the lead of the group, and they set the loot to whatever. Obviously, just like what Rock said, if somebody needs something, it's basically we get that item for them. Most of the time, it's just greed. Most of the time there, and unless somebody needs it, of course, and then. But it's always worked that way, and we've been successful for 6, 7, 8 years on that, on that method. Because our idea is that everybody is going to get what they need eventually, so we don't have any hoarders or anything like that. So, and then that's the way it always worked. Rock and Kano can tell you, when we went to those heroics over on SWG, it's always whoever needs it gets it, and then eventually, if we keep doing it together, everybody eventually will get what they need.
Yeah, I personally I have just our guild style. The structure is I have a background in the military. I'm not in the military anymore, but it just seemed to work really well. If someone's basically the highest ranking person online, can make day-to-day decisions if someone needs them, and it always puts someone in charge, and I think it's worked out real nice so far, and for us anyways, it's worked out.
Yeah, I also have military experience, and I was a cop for a long time.
Right. Not to say it's a bad system or anything. Just you guys are a little more organized that way, but we are. We kind of followed the same path. A lot of our goals and our style comes from our interaction with Force. Right, we used to, back in SWG, we would sit down with Force leadership and with SOD leadership, and we would come up with these things that would end up being our method of operating. So I mean, this isn't just a couple of guilds who don't know each other throwing together, and they're completely alien guilds trying to feel their way across the eggshells, if you will. These are old friends of ours. Okay, I think I'm done with that rant now. I'm just trying to really emphasize the fact I don't want to have this be a conflict, and I don't think it needs to be if we can all be adult about it. So I'm not trying to insult anybody. I have a policy. I don't accuse, but I say what needs to be said, just so if it becomes a problem down the line, we know it was said. I hope nobody takes offense to that. That's how I've always been. It's not meant as an accusation or anything else. So I hope everybody's cool with that.
All good. Ultimate goal is to have a great time and have fun. That's the ultimate goal. And
yeah, let's have some fun. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you
Pretty
guys,
sure that's why we all.
hey, you guys who said you were in the military, anybody in the Marine Corps?
Navy.
I was in Boy Scout. I had a brownie.
There you go. That's right up.
All right. Staying on track here. We're gonna move on to the. We're gonna touch quick on the COC, Code of Conduct. We're pretty much all familiar with it. We've used it from game to game. Treat people as you want to be treated. It's posted up on the forums. The chat etiquette and vent. Rock's going to get into a little bit more in a bit. The guild banking system. We don't know I mean, I don't know if Force has gotten as far as getting a guild up in the beta or anything. I haven't seen anything on the forums about how the guild bank's going to work. I'm going to touch on the squads in a little bit. Pretty much the squad leads will have access to the guild bank. Let's not try and fill it up with crap. But let's remember, Rock has been working diligently on crafting, and again, I don't know how much you guys have gotten into it from Force, but Rock has dug his teeth deep into the crafting. And he's going to be posting on our site pretty soon on reverse engineering and how to get blues and purples and all that good stuff. Yeah, he's really pulled that apart big time. The calendar real quick. I don't know if we're going to have one in game. Guys, I'm just running through the code of conduct real fast. I don't know if we're going to have one in game. There's one up on the site. Anybody can make an event. Everybody's encouraged to make events. Host them, please, for the love of God. Let's get this guild going. Squad leads, like I said, I'll get into that in a little bit. Next, the ranks on there. I'm probably going to get in there and revamp the ranks a little bit. Just once I get into game, once Rock and I get into game, and we can pull apart the guild structure, and we can get in and see how the guild system's going to work. We'll see. It's communication. Obviously, so key, guys. It's hard not to step on each other, but loot rules and recruiting. I'd like to see some kind of sponsorship program come into play. If you meet someone in game, I know we've got a lot of factions joining us. When I say factions, cliques of groups of players. Chris and his buddies. Danis is coming. Unfortunately, he can't be on Vent. Satan is bringing a bunch of guys from the Navy who are still active. When we're recruiting, let's keep an eye. I like everybody to try and find players. Just because you're not an officer doesn't mean don't recruit. If you find someone that you get along with that you think might be a fit, by all means get them to the site, put it in an app, get them in Vent. If they turn out to be an asshole, excuse my French, if anybody's on speakers, we have admin rights to the site and Vent. We could just boot them. That's not. I really hate to talk like that, but we all know every MMO comes with its fair share of dickheads. I'm gonna turn the. Don't worry, guys. If you guys got questions, write them down. We're gonna do a question and answer at the end. I know people have families and work tomorrow and stuff like that. But I'm gonna turn the mic over to Rock. He can go over the looting. A little bit on that. This really, guys, we're not saying this stuff to insult anyone. It's just stuff that needs to be said before the game comes out. This way, if things occur down the line, it can be said that we said this is how it goes. Rock, if you want to go ahead and go over looting.
Basically, like we covered before, it's a need before greed kind of system. As an example, if we have, let's say, 3 Jedi and a bounty hunter in a instance, and there's an Uber lightsaber that drops in this instance. Now, obviously, that lightsaber is going to be something that a Jedi is going to use. Let's additionally say that it said lightsaber schematic. Okay, let's put it that way. It's a lightsaber schematic. Let's additionally say that the lightsaber schematic can be sold on the auction house. All right, and let's say that this is a uber rare item. Okay, something you're going to have to work to get. Now, we have 3 Jedi and a bounty hunter. It looks like the groups are going to be mainly 4-man groups. There may be some bigger instances later, but for right now, we'll go on to 4-man assumption. So we have 3 Jedi and a bounty hunter. Okay, this schematic drops. None of the Jedi have it. Okay, at that point, with our need before greed policy, the 3 Jedi are basically going to be in the running for that, and the bounty hunter is not going to be for that particular piece of loot. And it's going to come down to a roll between the three Jedi. Okay, and 1 Jedi gets it. Now he has that saber. Now let's say the next week we go in, same 3 Jedi, same bounty hunter. Okay, and now when that saber schematic drops, that Jedi who got it and the bounty hunter are out of the running. The other 2 Jedi who did not get it are the ones that'll be rolling for that item. It's just basic. They need it. That bounty hunter doesn't need it. Um, for character improvement. That doesn't mean the bounty hunter will be out of all the loot for the round, just that particular item. The only exception I can think of to this is that from time to time somebody might say, let's say, I don't know, Mako here, let's say that he posts an event. Guys, I want to get this lightsaber. Would you guys come give me a hand with this, please? Okay, so at that point, we are forming a group to go help Mako get that item. Therefore, if that item drops, it's Mako's. I mean, does everybody follow what I'm saying?
Yep. Just basic, like helping out.
Right.
Obviously, if the stats on the hilt don't apply to that Jedi, or those Jedi, let's be realistic, we'll greet it. If the stats don't apply.
Right. Well, if for any reason the selected Jedi or whatever decides that he doesn't want it, at that point it's up for grabs, and we will handle that. I mean, not literally grab it. We will handle that, in a fair manner. I mean, the Jedi that's receiving the item obviously has the choice to turn it down. So.
Right on. Right on. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. But moving on to the squads. Some of you guys have seen the post about what Rock and I have concocted for the squads or the teams, charters, chapters, whatever you want to call it. With all the groups of players we've got coming, again, Chris and his guys, Danis and his guys, Satan and his guys, we're going to give the leaders of these groups, because like I said in the post, whether it's said in vent or said on paper, there's somebody in every group that leads, because if there's no leader, there's no group. It's up to the group to decide who's going to lead their squad. We'll go with that for now. But pretty much, they're going to operate within the code of conduct that SOD has put in place. And make sure your guys are informed and equipped and getting stuff done that they need to get done. So Rock and I can take a step back when we find out where the instances are 8 players or 10 players or whatever. We can see that this squad and this squad are ready to team up and do this instance. This squad needs some crafted items. And it's going to be a very much so on the squad leaders. You guys will have free reign to recruit. Again, I know you guys protect your communities. Chris, I know you said you've got more of a community than a guild, just like we do here at SOD. It's taken Rock and I and Fufi and his guys, many years to build this up. So when it comes to recruiting, keep that in mind. But if you feel that you want to expand your squad, by all means, please start recruiting. I know we've got a couple of squads that have spoken up on the forums. Eddie's going to take on the squad. It seems like he's going to be taking lead of the Devil Dogs. Lanik and his crew is going to be Delta Squad, and I've taken lead of Disciples of Destruction. And it's just another way to support each other, guys. That's all it is. It's in by all means, it's not a separate entity. You're not going to have a separate tag, nothing like that. It's just a way of chain of command. So your squad lead could say, Chris can come to us and say, hey, our guys need a little bit of this, we need a little of armor, we need a list of crafting, and Rock can go into that and take care of that. And then he can come to me, and I can get him involved with the next squad that needs to get going so they can start raiding and stuff like that. That's it. There's more info. The details need to get hammered out more. I want to pull the squad leads together once they're more defined, and hammer out some of that stuff. What I got next on the list?